So it's December now, and I've been really missing the outdoors. I brought out my camping gear and just some cooking stuff so I can make some coffee. But in this video, I want to share with you guys more on how I got into this remote work job, the things I did to adjust to remote work, and how it changed my view of work in general. And later in the video, I want to share with you guys the progress of my app. There was a lot of things I've done the past few days that I want to share with you guys. So I'm working outside just because it's a little bit nicer outside today, and it's a nice change of pace compared to, just working inside. So I want to share more about how I got this remote software engineering job, and it first begins during COVID. During COVID, as many of you guys remember, work was done remotely. I graduated in 2021 and I jumped straight into the workforce and worked at Amazon. And after working at Amazon for a few months, I knew that it wasn't the right fit for me. Almost every workday was a bit stressful and I knew I wanted to get out of it. And that's just my personal take. I know others are thriving at Amazon and doing some good work over there. But for me personally, it was a little bit too much, and as a new grad, jumping into that was a big ask, to be honest. So after I got off work from Amazon, and on the weekends, I would job search and practice my interview skills. That includes like technical coding interviews, as well as some soft skills and having answers for that. And after many interviews, I didn't get that many offers, which was pretty discouraging because at that time, if you guys remember, like 2021, 2022, that was when the tech industry was really booming and they were really hiring a lot of people to fulfill some roles. But eventually I got a referral from one of my friends who worked at Salesforce, and I applied and got through the interview process and got accepted to join the team. Again, it was during the middle of COVID, so everyone was still remote, and that's how I've been remote ever since. So if any of you guys are interested in getting into the tech industry, really building your network and getting referrals is probably the number one thing that I would recommend. But anyways, just gonna do some more work here and then get lunch ready. So I'm out here just getting my daily steps in. I usually go on a walk right after I have lunch, but I want to share more about how I had to adjust working remotely. So working remotely for the past few years, I really started to feel the pains of remote work. And one thing I needed to adjust was to really get my steps in like how I am now. I now schedule my daily walks just so that I'm getting some exercise throughout the day outside of my workout in the morning. And that's been pretty big for me because it helps me reset my mind and just lets me get some sunlight after, just staying inside for nearly the entire day. I guess that's just the trade-off that you have to accept working from home. Another struggle that I had to adapt to was separating my personal space from my workspace. So for a while, I used to have my desk in my room next to my bed, and I would just do work from there. But after a while, there was like no dividing line between my workspace and my personal space. And I thought that would be okay, but when work keeps bleeding into my own personal space, that was when I was, putting more hours in at work. And I used to think that it didn't matter if I mixed up my workspace from my personal space, but after a few years, I really do understand the boundaries that should be placed. I remember discussing with my previous manager how important it is to have your own workspace outside of your personal space, because that just helps you step away from your desk or wherever you're working from, and clear your mind and really close off that work mindset and focus more on your personal life and things outside of work. So that's just a little bit of the things that I had to adjust to working remotely. But now I'm gonna continue walking a little bit more and then get back home and get some more work done. So I want to give you guys an update on my app that I'm building. As you guys may know, I'm pursuing solopreneurship by building apps, creating them, and releasing it to the public as a way to also generate some income on the side. This app that I'm building is essentially a focus timer following the Pomodoro time management system. And it was a time management system that I used during college that really works for me. And I just thought, why not have that, as my first app that I'm building, because of how useful it is. I've installed all the dependencies that I need. For the UI, I'm using ShadCN as well as Tailwind CSS for all the styling. For state management, I'm using Pinya, which is a store library, so that all the information can be saved at a central location throughout the pages and components. I'm using Supabase, which is a backend as a service, providing you different functionalities. And I'm using specifically the authentication side of it as well as the database side of it. I've created a few tables and the database structure for that. I might add some more tables in the future, but for now, I think what I have is good so far. And to this day, even as a software engineer, just seeing me fetch the data from the backend and display on the UI is so rewarding. There's just something about seeing it all put together and displayed on the website. And as simple as that is, it's those small wins that help me move forward and make more progress on the app. So what I'm working on next right now is the sign up and login functionality. And I've also added email verification so that the emails that the users are putting in are actually valid emails. And it's just a security thing so that, there's not a lot of bots in the application as well. So those are a few things that I have to consider with this, authentication and login flow. It's almost the end of the year, so I'm trying to make as much progress as I can and document all this for you guys along the way. Okay, so I bit the bullet and I got the Canon PowerShot V1. It's a camera that I've been eyeing for a while now. And the main reason why I got this camera was because of how portable it is. You can see how thin it is, and there's no external lens that you can attach. The lens is built in. It's something that I can just put in my pocket and just carry along with me while I, film these videos and not have to worry about carrying like a camera bag just to hold my camera gear. So I just installed a cage, which gives it a better grip here, as well as an additional cold shoe mount. The only downside in using this camera that I noticed so far was that the video quality isn't the best compared to, this ZV-E1 that I have. But I think that's just the trade-off that I'll take considering how compact this camera is. But I do think it's worth it to just quickly take out this camera and capture the moment. And lately I've been trying to get more gear that's more portable, because I've noticed lately that I don't want to carry too much stuff with me. And having this camera as compact as it is just helps me not worry about bringing too much and making the most of the small things I have. So just working on my app for a little bit here, I realized that there's a lot to do. There's a lot more work that needs to be done. And I feel like just finding time to do that is going to be tough. But one thing that I realized since working remotely is how valuable time is. Not having to commute to work really allowed me to save time and focus on some of my hobbies as well. And I feel like the time I've saved on commute really led me down this path of videography, filming videos like this, and also think about pursuing solopreneurship and building my app. I also feel in this field of work of the tech industry, I feel like the work can be done basically almost anywhere. Ever since COVID, when people started working remotely, it really broke the traditional idea of what work should look like. And it made me change the way of how I think of work as well. And essentially, because of remote work, it allowed me time to think and explore the things that I'm more interested in and focus on the things that I really value and put more energy into that. So that's just me yapping, but now I'm just gonna relax and have some dinner and call it a day. Thanks for tuning in. I'll keep you guys updated and I'll see you in the next video.